Hi, welcome to Time Capsule, where we explore the meaning of life in the 21st century through the eyes of people just like you and me. I'm Joenrhuz.
And I'm Monica.
And today we have a Columbia University master's student, Fatima Mossolem. Fatima, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you for being here with us. So can you tell us more about yourself, your background, your education, and all that stuff?
So I'm currently doing my master's in human nutrition at Columbia University. I do have a bachelor's in biology and a bachelor's in chemistry from St. John's University. And I'm hoping to one day do med school. So yeah.
So how's it been being at Columbia, especially, during the pandemic?
Honestly, it's been I love Columbia and I love our professors and everything, but school during a pandemic on Zoom, it's not, no. I hate it. I hate it so much. But it's the time, so just roll with the punches.
Do you find it more difficult to learn, especially on a master's level, online?
Um, I think I would find it hard to learn in general over Zoom just because I'm a very hands-on learner and I'm a very involved student. So being on Zoom is so difficult because you're just kind of stuck behind a computer screen. You can't interact even with other students. If you look away for 2 minutes, you're already lost. So then you have to rewatch entire lecture videos and that's just a lot of effort.
Yeah, I bet. So what inspired you to, go towards this route that you're going towards now and, to eventually become a doctor?
I just really I've always had a love for medicine. I've always had a love for helping and healing people. That's how we met. And I just I genuinely enjoy trying to make the world slightly less shitty. I know it's a big ask, but like it's what I want to do. It's what I've always wanted to do. So becoming a doctor was not a stretch for me or a reach.
Let me ask you, are you into those doctor shows like General Hospital, The Good Doctor, Nurse Jackie?
I have watched Grey's Anatomy 8 times. I'm not even kidding, start to finish. I'm obsessed with that show. I love it. It's what want me really spurred me into wanting to do surgery. And then I grew up and was like, no, that's too much school. I can't do this.
How many seasons does Grey's Anatomy have?
They're on their last one. It's 15 so far.
And you've watched it 8 times?
I really like it.
Would you say that influenced you to, pursue the career you're in today?
I mean, it definitely didn't deter me because everyone would be like, oh, it's this much years, it's this, it's that. But I don't know, seeing a representation of what you want to do online is really it's just it helps you want to do something like that. It helps you kind of get spurred into action.
Yeah.
So if you were pursuing a different path, what would you be pursuing and why?
I would probably go into writing, honestly. I love writing. I love writing poetry. I had a published book. You're never gonna find it though. It's under a pen name. Um, but yeah, I really enjoy putting pen to paper and letting my imagination fly. I don't everyone always goes, oh, what are you gonna do with English long term? And I genuinely want to I really have this drive to help people, and it's either pick one career path and do the other on the side. And so I think I can always keep writing. Nothing's ever gonna stop me from wanting to put stories on paper. But I think medicine is more of the structured route. So that's one that right now is at the front of my brain. But yeah, if I could do anything else, I'd probably be a writer.
Well, can you tell us more about this book that you wrote?
I can't because you're never gonna find it.
Just give us a hint, what is it about? Or
It was published in high school. It's just an anthology of poems.
okay.
So I mean, just go to another high school and find a student that writes poetry, and you'll probably get the gist of what I'm doing. But yeah, it wasn't crazy. It was just I was really excited as a senior in high school. I was like, yes.
Oh. Do you plan on writing novels in the future? Would you hope to?
I hope so, if I can. Gotta have the time to write stuff first though.
Well, since you are a big writer, are you also a big reader?
I am an obsessive reader. like when I was in high school and middle school, I used to read like one book a day, and like if I didn't do that, like my brain would go crazy. So I'd be staying up until like 5 a.m. like reading, and then go to sleep for 2 hours. And my mom would wake me up at 7, and she'd be like, are you stupid?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, just a little."
Oh,
But
no.
now I'm lucky if I like read a book a week.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
But
what's the most like captivating book that you've read recently?
my favorite series is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. Like, I'm obsessed with it. I love everything about it. I love Sarah J. Maas's writing. Just everything about it is fantastic. Genuinely. Like, and if she sees this, follow me on Twitter. Thanks.
We're now at the segment of the show that we like to call past, present, future. So we're going to start it off by asking you, how do you see yourself now and how does it compare to 5 years ago?
So 5 years ago, I was probably a little bit more sure of my path. I already like kind of, when you're in high school and like they tell you, what are you gonna do with your life? And like by the time you're a senior, you might not know exactly what you're doing, but you have kind of like this structure in your brain that's like, okay, I'm gonna go to 4 years of undergrad and then I'm gonna hit med school and then I'm gonna become a doctor and work and that's it. I think now I'm just kind of like I'm a little bit of a mess, but I'm okay with it at this point. I'm just like everyone's a mess. So I think I'm just gonna like I'm more relaxed. I'm more or less less anal than I used to be. Just a big thing for me. Um but yeah, I think I'm just more go with the flow now, like more of a mess, but like a nicer mess, controlled mess.
So what did you like do to help yourself find that, calmer version of yourself and to help yourself relax more?
I just went through like a lot of like trials. I think like issues with friends, issues with like my family, um, issues with the pandemic. The pandemic really like stressed me out. I was working for most of it. Um, Issues with like the original master's program I was enrolled in. So I think like every time I'd face an obstacle, I'd put so much pressure on myself to try and like face it head on and succeed. And like you can't take a break, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I think now I'm 21 and I'm burnt out and I don't know, if I could give one piece of advice to people is just to, like take your time, like it'll happen when it happens and it will happen if that's what you want to do. It's just life. Yeah.
No, well, that's great advice. So with that said, how will things be for you in 5 years?
Hopefully in med school by then. Hopefully graduated from med school by then, honestly. Maybe starting my oncology residency if I can do that. But yeah, that's I think my plan right now. Probably in a boatload more debt. But
Well, it'll be all worth it, I'm sure.
So, jumping off of that, what principles do you live your life by?
um honestly shit happens and it's not that serious. I think those are my like two like main mottos right now. It's like shit happens. Like someone's gonna punch you in the face, some friend's gonna like hurt you, some job's gonna reject you, some job's gonna fire you, like some program's gonna reject you, like you're not gonna get the test grade you want. Something's gonna happen. Shit happens. It does. Um, and it's not that serious. It's just because I'm sure everyone's been through their fair share of high school and middle school drama, and like that always felt like the end of the world when it was happening. Like the anxiety, the tension, the no longer sitting at the same lunch tables. Then you look back at it now and we're adults and you're just like, was it really that serious? And so I think that's the motto I really like to kind of like put on everything. It's not that serious. If I'm not going to care about it in 2 weeks, 2 years, 2 decades, it's not that serious. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I just remember being in high school and thinking, the drama that happens really consumed most of my mind for like those whole 4 years. And now that, when I was in college, I was like, what the heck is this drama? There's more drama in college. But when you're out of it all, once you leave those gates at your school, when you graduate, there's more problems in the world that you see. And, these are just smaller problems compared to the real problems in life.
No, yeah. It's exactly how I view it. It's just there's always going to be a bigger problem to face. There's really always going to be another problem. And that's just how life is. Like it's a roller coaster. you're gonna have a lot of lows, and then you're just gonna be thrown really high, and then it's gonna go crashing down again. But never ends. So
Well, with all these problems, going on, whether it's, your life or anyone's life, what do you find grateful in your life? Like, what are you grateful for?
I'm super grateful for my parents, and as crazy as they are because they're freaking insane. I'm super grateful for my siblings also and my friends because y'all be getting me through a lot. And I'm a little bit grateful for myself that like I've been resilient enough to do this because not gonna lie, I thought at a lot of points I'd be like broken down, but I'm grateful that I pushed through.
Were there many times in your life, where you gave up? And if you did, how did you kind of pick yourself back up?
I think so I was enrolled in a different master's program before Columbia. Um, and that master's program was the one at St. John's, and at last minute due to COVID and due to budgeting and some messed up like issues within the school, I wasn't able to get the scholarship I wanted. And I thought the world was ending. I really did. Like I was so beaten down. Was working full time because of COVID, actually more than full time. I was working so many hours a week. Um like it felt like never ending, and I literally just felt so beat down, and then kind of like my friends shook me out of it. They were like, are you an idiot? Like just apply to more programs. St. John's will still take you if you want to. You're just gonna have to pay for it, but just apply to more programs. Like see what else is out there. Like you're just like limiting yourself. So I don't know, I think like relying on the people around you to support you also. I mean, not heavily, like they shouldn't be the reason you get up every day in the morning, but they are your support system. They are supposed to lift you when you fall. So yeah.
I definitely agree. So, if you were to leave something in a time capsule for people to dig up 100 years later, what would you put in there and why?
Thinking about this question for so long because I don't know what I would put in. Like I genuinely don't know. Maybe my journal, just to like let people know that I'm sure 100 years from now the issues I'm facing are gonna be menial and like not important at all to someone who's living like a new tech era and everything. But maybe my journal just so they can see like how monumental I felt like every issue or every problem was in my life, and like how I always felt like the world was ending. But like I got through it. And if I can get through it, anyone can get through it because again, walking mess.
Well, can you tell us more about your journaling? So, do you journal every day and, document what happened, or you do every once in a while?
So I actually started it like my junior year of college, and I started it primarily due to anxiety. Just because a lot of times I couldn't really verbalize what was wrong with me or like what was bothering me or what was on my mind, but I found that like writing it down kind of helped me explain my thoughts a little bit more, and like seeing it on paper kind of like it just makes it more like tangible, like something you can actually like hold. So yeah, I started it my junior. I don't do it every day. I do it really when like there's something weighing on my mind or like weighing on my conscience that I can't really like express correctly. Um, but yeah, I enjoy it. I recommend it to anyone that's kind of like struggling. Even if you don't think like it's gonna do anything, it might help.
Definitely, yeah. I feel like it's a great way to express yourself, especially when you have nobody to talk to, or like you said, when you're just trying to figure out what's wrong. And I feel like everyone has a different way of just coping with whatever they're going through.
Definitely.
You ever like go back and read and see how you've grown?
So yeah, I do this thing every couple of every couple of I call them chapters in my life, where like one issue ends and like the new one begins, where I will stop at the beginning and I'll write myself. So my journal also, I hate diaries because I don't understand why you're writing into a book that has no meaning. So I call my journal like letters to God, and I write to God, which I understand not everyone's spiritual and everything, but it's what helps me. Um, so every couple of pages I'll stop writing a letter to God and I'll write myself a letter to myself. Um, and like those are the ones that I really go back and read because they're really like, I know you feel like the world is ending, but like it's not. You'll be fine. Like just shut the fuck up and like keep it pushing. Sorry for cursing.
It's all good. So, is there anything else you'd like to add about yourself to tell our viewers? Any advice you'd have?
If I can make it, you can make it, because I'm literally like, I'm bottom barrel. So like, I've just seen a lot of people give up on their dreams and like switch paths and do that. And like, we're at an age right now where we don't really know the world, and like we think we do. We're very headstrong about everything. And like, it's not giving in and it's not losing your pride to take advice from someone. I would say the best thing you can do at this age is actually to listen. Just because like my dad's motto is "I've lived a life before you," which is so condescending. Um, but he'll say it before every lecture. He'll be like, "No, Fatima, I've lived a life before you. Stop." And I'm like, so irritating. But it's like eventually you'll find that like the advice people give you is true, as stupid as it is. I'd also tell people like, don't trust everyone you meet, but don't not trust the people that have proven themselves to you. Not everyone deserves your full self, but not everyone doesn't deserve at least a real version of you. Um, because like, yeah, like building walls is fun, but you're never gonna be able to tear them down if you make them too thick.
I like that. I like how you phrase that, the thing with the walls. Well, Fatima, thanks so much for being a part of our time capsule. Thank you to our viewers for watching, and please make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tune in again next week to meet another amazing addition to our time capsule. All right, thank you, Fatima.
Bye.